First, I think for the benefit of those in India, the global south, and those who have normally understood what's happening in America from the lens of the big newspapers and big channels. One of the biggest political comebacks, the re-election of President Trump. What does it really mean in terms of American politics? What is really happening? What was the phenomena or the process that resulted in this outcome?
You know, first of all, in American politics, too often our politics is reduced to one party versus another party. I know we're not alone in this, but what was really unique, and it was an incredible experience to be a part of, was to see those barriers broken down just through the course of President Trump's campaign, where rather than taking the approach of being exclusive, you're on my team or you're on the other guy's team, he welcomed people both in the campaign and, as you've seen, in the cabinet, people who don't necessarily agree with President Trump on every issue or not of the same party, but understanding that when we come together around our shared mission of service to the American people, and how can we make their lives better, how can we achieve those goals and objectives that I outlined in my remarks, then we have the capacity to really make big, significant, positive change that once again is focused on the most important people, which is the people of our country. Mm-hmm. And bringing that focus of the government back to what everyone who works in public service should begin their day with, the mindset of what can I do in my role, in my job, whether you're a civil servant or you're an elected official, is how can I best be of service? And I think this is what made his victory possible. Against all odds, against all of the attacks. As you said, it was a historic comeback story. And I think you see this in his laser-like focus every day in delivering results and solving problems and challenging our own internal norms to make sure that those in government are actually serving the people.
But there is certainly questions in some parts of the world that does it really mean it's an America going into its shell, the island America. How do you respond to those questions that I'm sure you would be faced with as well when through your travels through the Indo-Pacific?
It just speaks to a lack of understanding that for us to have a president who is America first, who puts the interests of the American people first, should not at all be mistaken or concluded to be a president who doesn't understand the importance of the relationships with other countries and wherever possible to work together towards shared interests. So it's a common misconception, once again, that those who call for peace, as President Trump has, that somehow that is automatically equated to being, well, if you stand for peace, then you must be an isolationist. Nothing could be further from the truth. And that accusation actually speaks to a deeper misunderstanding or a wrong assumption, which is that the only way to engage with other countries must be through some form of conflict or warfare. So it's a positive thing for us in the United States, and I believe for President Trump's leadership in the world, to build those relationships and looking at other means of resolving conflict, and really truly being a president who wants his legacy to be one of being a peacemaker and a unifier.
And how are your allies responding to this?
You know, he has, I think even before he was sworn in on his inauguration day, he had called leaders from, 72 different countries within the first week of having won the election. He continues to engage in a very constructive and productive way with many leaders across Europe, for example, as these ongoing negotiations are occurring to bring about an end to the Russia-Ukraine war. So the warnings that were delivered very loudly within our own media that somehow President Trump would be shunned and that no one would be interested in working with him, the absolute opposite has proven true.
So on that particular point, in the first term of President Trump, we saw the re-energization of the Quad. We saw a new energy in the India-US partnership. And to be fair, all presidents have contributed to this relationship that has evolved over the last 20 years. But he certainly changed, in some sense, the strategic direction of the partnership. What should the thinkers and the watchers expect in the second term? The India-US relationship, the evolution of the Quad, where is it headed? The Indo-Pacific, more specifically.
You know, for President Trump and Prime Minister Modi, I think what we saw, again, with Prime Minister Modi's early visit to Washington was a reconnection of two old friends who, over the years that President Trump was not in office, continued to build upon that friendship. Obviously, that's a personal friendship, but it's one that is indicative of their approach to leadership and their priorities of listening to the needs of their respective people and setting policy and taking action towards serving their best interests. So with regards to the Quad and the other relationships that some of them began under President Trump's last administration, others have begun since. Both he and his team, our cabinet, his cabinet, is already been engaging really from day one with our partners. I can speak for myself. Within 12 hours of being sworn in as the Director of National Intelligence, I was on a plane and headed to Munich for the security conference there, where I had the opportunity to meet with close to 30 of my counterparts from different parts of the world. And what I've enjoyed and appreciated about being able to be here and to join all of you.
Director, in your current role, what are the specific steps you are taking to advance the India-US security partnership? And what should we be doing together and in the region to respond to what's happening today?
Well, this is what I've gained just from spending the last few days here, is being able to sit across the table from my Indian counterparts and to hear directly from them about the very serious concerns that you have here for your own security interests, and to be able to look for those opportunities where we can build off of what is already a very strong partnership that has gone on for quite some time, and again, take advantage of the new administration coming in to pick up that momentum and find those other opportunities from an intelligence sharing standpoint, knowing that in our role, our responsibility is to make sure that we are providing the best, timely, and relevant intelligence reporting to our leadership so that they can make the best informed decisions, but obviously strengthening our security partnership, our economic partnership, that President Trump and Prime Minister Modi really laid out in their compact statement when Prime Minister Modi was in Washington, D.C. I think there's huge opportunity for continued growth and continued investment in our mutual interests.
Including a focus on emerging technologies and the frontier tech areas?
Absolutely. It's impossible to have a conversation about both the challenges and opportunities we face without focusing on the very quickly evolving cybersecurity needs, the vulnerabilities that exist, and the need to maximize emerging tech and AI and other capabilities to strengthen our security interests.
No, we are nearly out of time because I know you have to have your wheels up soon. But on a more fun side, what did you do in the last 2-3 days? A cultural experience, something interesting that you did in Delhi in the last 2-3 days?
I ate some great food. No, it's. I had a chance the last time I was here. I spent almost 3 weeks here and had a chance to visit, I think, 7 different states. And as a practicing Hindu, I took a few days at the end of the trip and went on a pilgrimage to visit some holy sites here. This trip was very short, 2.5 days, and I spent all that time meeting with leaders in the Indian government, Prime Minister Modi, and of course our great team here at the U.S. Embassy, who's representing us very well.
But Director, let me just tell you what one of my friends in Europe mentioned to me, that even a business visit to India is a cultural experience.
It's wonderful.
So thank you very much for joining us. Please
Thank
join
you
me
very
in
much.
applauding
Thank you, everybody.
the Director.
Aloha.